What defines the moment when the rigid foundations of tradition are shattered by the flames of a new era? As we stand before the magnificent gates of history, we must ask ourselves if we are truly prepared to witness the birth of modernism. Today, we delve into the legendary Firebird Suite by Igor Stravinsky, a masterpiece that forever altered the landscape of orchestral composition. I am your guide as we journey through the intricate tapestry of rhythm and folklore that defined a century of musical revolution. Let us begin our exploration of this symphonic fire that continues to burn brightly in the hearts of listeners worldwide. Prepare yourself for a deep and meticulous immersion into the life and art of one of history's greatest musical innovators. Our journey will span the historical corridors of St. Petersburg and the vibrant boulevards of Paris to uncover the secrets of this immortal work. We will examine the data, the scores, and the cultural shifts that made this moment possible. Let us begin this definitive academic immersion into the genesis of a masterpiece. Every note we hear is a witness to the profound transformation of the early 20th century. We are here to witness the fire once more. We will explore the technical nuances and the historical data that ground this work in the archives of excellence. Prepare for a meticulous deep dive into the symphonic heart of the Firebird. Every frame of this documentary is dedicated to the pursuit of artistic truth and cultural preservation. The questions we ask today will lead us to a deeper understanding of our own creative potential. We must consider the weight of tradition and the courage required to step into the unknown. The Firebird is our guide through this labyrinth of history and sound. Join me as we step onto the stage of 1910. The story of the Firebird is not merely a chronicle of musical composition, but a vivid tapestry woven into the very fabric of early 20th century Europe. In the year 1910, Paris was the undisputed epicenter of the global avant-garde, a city where the echoes of the Belle Époque resonated through every cobblestone street and grand boulevard. It was within this cauldron of creativity that the Ballets Russes, led by the indomitable Sergei Diaghilev, sought to redefine the boundaries of the performing arts. Diaghilev was a man of extraordinary vision, possessed by a relentless desire to present the most innovative and provocative works to the discerning Parisian elite. His mission was to blend the rich heritage of Russian folklore with the sophisticated artistic sensibilities of the West, creating a cultural bridge that would span continents. We look at the data from the 19th century archives, which show a society on the verge of a massive paradigm shift, moving away from the rigid structures of the past and toward a more fragmented and dynamic future. The bustling crowds of Paris, seen here in these meticulous reconstructions, were the first witnesses to this transformation, unaware that they were about to participate in a revolution. Stravinsky was at the time a relatively obscure figure, a student of Rimsky-Korsakov, whose potential was recognized by Diaghilev in a moment of sheer intuition. The financial records of the Ballets Russes indicate the immense scale of this undertaking, involving hundreds of artists, musicians, and stagehands in a coordinated effort to achieve a single aesthetic goal. Every letter and diary entry from this period speaks of a palpable tension, a sense of collective anticipation that something monumental was about to happen on the stage of the Palais Garnier. This historical context is essential for understanding why the Firebird Suite resonates so powerfully even 100 years later, as it captures the restless energy of an era that refused to be contained by tradition. We observe the intricate details of the costumes and the set designs, realizing that every visual element was carefully calibrated to match the intensity of the musical score. This was the birth of modernism in its most visceral and immersive form, a moment when the world was invited to step into a magical realm that was simultaneously ancient and futuristic. The historical records confirm that the rehearsals were marked by a shared commitment to excellence and a refusal to compromise on artistic vision. As we explore the streets of Old Paris, we feel the weight of history and the promise of a new artistic dawn. The detailed logs of the 1910 season provide a glimpse into the logistical complexity of the production. Each performance was a high-stakes gamble that required the absolute coordination of every department. We see evidence of the composer's growing confidence as he navigated the challenges of the Parisian stage. The Firebird became a symbol of the new Russia, a vibrant and unpredictable force that would soon dominate the global stage. Our academic survey reveals a society that was hungry for change, and Stravinsky provided the sonic fuel for that transformation. Every frame of these archives is a testament to the power of creative vision. We observe the specific critical reception in the Parisian newspapers of the time, revealing a divide between the old guard and the new pioneers. This was the fire that Stravinsky ignited. The 19th century theaters were the proving grounds for this new aesthetic, where every rhythmic subdivision was a calculated strike against the status quo. We analyzed the specific influence of the French Impressionists on his early harmonic palette, noting the subtle shifts in texture and color that define the opening movements. The historical data from the Palais Garnier archives shows a society in the midst of a profound cultural realignment. This is the world that gave birth to the Firebird. To understand the origins of the Firebird, we must look beyond the boulevards of Paris to the snow-covered streets of St. Petersburg, the cradle of Stravinsky's early genius. It was here, under the tutelage of the legendary Nikolai Rimsky-Korsakov, that the young composer mastered the intricate science of orchestration. Rimsky-Korsakov's influence is palpable in the shimmering colors and exotic scales that define the Firebird's magical world. We examine the academic records from the St. Petersburg Conservatory, noting Stravinsky's meticulous attention to instrumental timbre and acoustic balance. The city itself, a grand and often austere architectural masterpiece, provided a dramatic backdrop for his early experiments in sound. We see the influence of the Russian landscape in the deep resonant textures of the low brass and the soaring crystalline melodies of the woodwinds. The data from his early student works indicates a burgeoning interest in the polytonality and irregular meters that would later define his mature style. This period of academic rigor was essential for providing him with the technical tools needed to realize Diaghilev's ambitious vision. We explore the relationship between the composer and his mentor, realizing that their partnership was a bridge between the 19th century tradition and the 20th century avant-garde. The historical records confirm that Rimsky-Korsakov viewed Stravinsky as one of his most promising students, a young man possessed by a restless curiosity and an uncompromising artistic integrity. As we walk through the halls of the old conservatory, we feel the presence of a musical lineage that stretches back to Glinka and Mussorgsky. Stravinsky was the heir to this tradition, but he was also its most radical critic, seeking to push its boundaries into uncharted territory. The winter streets of St. Petersburg were the training grounds for his imagination. Every carriage and every pedestrian participated in the atmospheric preparation for his Parisian triumph. The analysis of his early manuscripts reveals a composer who was already beginning to fracture the traditional structures of harmony. We see evidence of his study of folk music, noting the songs that would eventually be incorporated into the finale. This academic preparation ensured that the Firebird would not merely be a sensation, but a work of lasting substance. As we move closer to the premiere, we observe the increasing complexity of his sketches and the growing ambition of his orchestral plans. The world was about to be introduced to a sound that was ancient and futuristic. Every step in this cold city was a step toward the fires of Paris. We examine the data from the archives regarding his early performances, showing a clear trajectory toward international recognition. The Firebird was the culmination of years of dedicated academic pursuit. The rigor of the conservatory provided the foundation for his revolutionary experiments. We look at the data from his student exercises, which reveal a budding interest in polytonality. Every note in these snowy archives is a piece of a larger history. The influence of Russian liturgical music is also explored, noting the harmonic structures adapted for his own purposes. This cultural heritage remained a constant source of inspiration throughout his career. The technical orchestration of the Firebird Suite is a masterclass in the manipulation of instrumental color and acoustic space. Stravinsky's choice of a quadruple woodwind section and an expanded percussion battery allowed him to create a sonic landscape of extraordinary depth. In the famous introduction, we hear the low strings weaving a dark tapestry based on the octatonic scale, a hallmark of Russian musical depictions of the supernatural. This choice creates a sense of lingering dread that pulls the listener into the mysterious garden of King Koshi. We analyze the precise frequencies and the subtle use of harmonics that give the strings their ethereal, shimmering quality. The use of 2 harps and 3 offstage trumpets provides a spatial dimension to the sound, creating a sense of depth that was revolutionary. Each instrumental group is treated with individuality, yet they are combined with a mathematical precision that ensures clarity. We examine the data from modern acoustic studies which highlight Stravinsky's uncanny ability to predict how these diverse sounds would blend in a large hall. The infernal dance remains a peak of rhythmic complexity, utilizing a driving pulse that anticipates the primitive energy of the rite of spring. Here, the composer uses displaced accents and sudden shifts in meter to keep the listener in a state of constant tension. The contrast between the jagged lines of the magical world and the noble melodies of the human characters is a study in balance. Prince Ivan's theme is presented with a straightforward character that provides a stable emotional anchor amidst the surrounding orchestral chaos. This analysis reveals a composer masterfully manipulating the listener's perception through timbre. This technical excellence is why the suite remains a mandatory requirement for every major symphony orchestra and a cornerstone of the global conducting curriculum. The structural data from the 1910 score reveals a level of complexity that continues to challenge even the most experienced musicians today. As we analyze the individual instrument parts, we see the fingerprints of a genius who understood the soul of every instrument. We look at the differences between the 1910, 1911, and 1919 versions, showing a refinement of the orchestration toward a more transparent and concise symphonic language. Every note was calculated to maximize the dramatic impact on the audience. The Firebird Suite is a technical triumph of the 20th century. The 1919 suite represents a masterpiece of symphonic economy, where every note is perfectly placed for maximum acoustic impact. We analyze the specific frequency response of the 1919 orchestration in a large hall, noting how the reduction in force actually leads to a greater sense of clarity and power. This mathematical approach to sound is what defines his middle period. The data from music conservatories shows that the Firebird remains the most studied and analyzed score in the history of modern composition. We examine the specific articulations required for the brass in the finale, noting the gradual build of intensity that leads to the final triumphant chord. The mythic narrative of the Firebird is rooted in the deep soil of Russian folklore, a world populated by sorcerers, brave princes, and creatures of immense power. Stravinsky carefully selected elements from multiple traditional tales to create a story that was both archetypal and unique. The Firebird itself is a symbol of absolute beauty and untamable power, a creature whose golden feathers possess the ability to both bless and curse those who encounter them. King Koshai represents the stagnation and darkness of the old world, a figure whose immortality is tied to a hidden egg that must be destroyed to achieve liberation. We explore the symbolic resonance of these characters, looking at how they mirror the societal tensions of 1910. The Prince's quest is a journey of self-discovery and courage, a path that leads him through a landscape of supernatural obstacles toward an ultimate victory of light over darkness. Stravinsky's music captures this emotional arc with precision, from the brooding mystery of the garden to the explosive triumph of the finale. The Dance of the Princesses provides a moment of lyrical repose, utilizing a beautiful oboe melody rooted in authentic Russian folk songs. We see evidence of Stravinsky's extensive research into traditional songbooks, showing his commitment to cultural authenticity even as he pushed the boundaries of musical language. This integration of ancient heritage with futuristic techniques is what gives the work its enduring appeal. The rhythmic data from the infernal dance reveals a complexity that was previously unheard of in the ballet world, mirroring the chaotic struggle depicted on the stage. We analyze the critical reception, noting how the audience was drawn into the narrative through the physical impact of the sound. This scene immerses you in the mythological world. It is a world where magic is real. The premiere at the Palais Garnier was the turning point that cemented this legend in the global consciousness. We look at the statistics of the sold-out performances and the international reviews that followed. The Firebird became the symbol of a new era of artistic collaboration. Every archive we explore confirms the immense scale of its impact. The legend of the Firebird is a universal metaphor for the resilience of the human spirit. We see this reflected in the diverse global interpretations of the work, from classical ballet to modern experimental dance. The historical records of the Ballet Russes show a production that was as much a visual masterpiece as it was a musical one. The costumes by Léon Bakst and the sets by Alexander Golovin created a unified sensory experience that had never been seen before on the Parisian stage. This legacy of total artistic integration continues to influence modern theater and film production. We examine the specific data from the production logs, showing the immense amount of resources required to bring this folklore to life. Every feather and every shadow was piece of a larger artistic vision. This is the enduring heritage of the Firebird. The influence of Stravinsky's Firebird on the modern era cannot be overstated, as its ripples continue to be felt in contemporary classical music and film soundtracks. The jagged rhythms and bold orchestral colors paved the way for the cinematic styles of composers like John Williams and Jerry Goldsmith, who drew heavily from Stravinsky's palette. We observe the integration of these techniques into the digital realm as modern producers utilize the suite's dramatic structures to build tension in video game and television scores. The cultural impact of the work has transcended the concert hall, becoming a symbol of the 20th century's restless spirit and its constant quest for the new. As we look at the statistics of digital streaming and global concert programs, the Firebird consistently ranks among the most popular and influential works of the modern age. The story of the mythical bird rising from the ashes of the old world remains a powerful metaphor for our own contemporary challenges and our capacity for renewal. We see the legacy of the Ballets Russes in the multidisciplinary collaborations of today's leading artists who continue to strive for that same level of creative synergy. Stravinsky's courage to challenge the status quo remains a guiding light for all who seek to push the boundaries of their respective crafts. This documentary has provided a comprehensive look at the historical, technical, and cultural data that supports the enduring relevance of this masterpiece. We have explored the intricate details of its creation and the profound impact it has had on the world's artistic consciousness over the last century. The Firebird continues to fly, its golden wings illuminating the path toward a future where the power of music remains an essential and transformative force. We see this work in every corner of the globe, from the great halls of Europe to the vibrant centers of Asia and the Americas. The data regarding its global reach is a testament to its universal appeal and its ability to speak to people across all cultures and generations. We analyze the way in which modern technology has allowed us to experience this music in new and immersive ways. This is the ultimate legacy of Stravinsky's vision, a work of art that is as alive today as it was on that revolutionary night in Paris. As we conclude our exploration, we are left with a sense of profound gratitude for the genius who dared to dream of a fire that would never be extinguished. As we look toward the future, the Firebird Suite remains a guiding light for artists in the digital era. Its influence on modern soundtrack composition is a testament to its enduring structural integrity. We see the spirit of the Firebird in every young musician who dares to challenge tradition and forge their own path. The symphonic fire is ours to carry into the next century. Our final movement celebrates the universal reach of this vision, a work that belongs to the whole world. Every note we hear is a witness to the profound transformation of the early 20th century. We are here to witness the fire once more. The questions we ask today lead us to a deeper understanding of our own creative potential. We must consider the weight of tradition. The Firebird is our guide through this labyrinth of history and sound. Join me as we step onto the stage of 1910. We will explore the technical nuances and the historical data that ground this work in the archives of excellence. Prepare for a meticulous deep dive into the symphonic heart of the Firebird. Every frame of this documentary is dedicated to the pursuit of artistic truth and cultural preservation. The fire burns brightly in the hearts of listeners worldwide. Our journey concludes with a sense of profound gratitude. Thank you for sharing this journey with us. The Firebird Suite remains a guiding light for all who seek the transformative power of music. As the final echoes fade, we are reminded that true art is never stagnant but always soaring toward new horizons. It has been a profound honor to celebrate a century of musical excellence with you. May the spirit of innovation accompany you in all your endeavors. I wish you a day filled with inspiration. Thank you for your time and your passion for the arts. Goodbye and blessings to you all. As the final echoes of the Firebird's triumph fade into the grand halls of memory, we are reminded of the enduring power of creative courage. Stravinsky's vision remains a testament to the fact that true art is never stagnant, but always soaring toward new horizons. It has been a profound honor to share this detailed journey with you today as we celebrate a century of musical excellence. May the spirit of innovation and the beauty of these classics accompany you in all your future endeavors. I wish you a day filled with inspiration and the transformative power of great music. Please remember to like and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into the world's most significant cultural events. Thank you for your time and your passion for the arts. Goodbye and blessings to you all. 구독과 좋아요를 눌러주세요. 감사합니다.